So this isn't something I generally do, but I felt like I had to come on here and I had to screw attack, Deathbattle. I had to come on here and I had to say thank you to Wiz and Boomstick and the whole team that was involved in this for the Superman and Goku battle.
Finally.
I mean, seriously, like, with the Avengers movie, with the Thor movie, the new Batman movies, all the anticipation for all that was easily crammed into the 2 months or the month and a half we've been waiting for this Goku versus Superman. They announced it in, I want to say, October. And it was like mid-December we got an announcement saying it would be the 21st of December, which got pushed back until last Thursday, the 8th or 9th.
Which was still considered forever.
And for the love of God, like I said, the anticipation, it was so worth it. It was all the work they put into it. I know they were having a problem with the animation, and that's the big reason we didn't get it on the 21st. At the time, I wanted them to push it out. I wanted them to
thoroughly
just for fuck's sake, just throw it out there. I wanted to see it, and I wanted to know who was going to win. But I'm so glad they held off. It was perfect, with no stone left unturned. And the big thing between you and Daryl and other friends, Phil, we've never had a solid answer for this. We've never had the mathematical statistics that they used in this video. Spoilers, we're probably going to talk about the winners and what happened, but this was perfect. And holy shit, this was so good. And it's funny that right at the end of the episode it says next time on Deathbattle. I don't care what happens next. I don't care who the next battle is. This is what I've been waiting for.
Well, jumping back into the math real quick.
Of course I'm going to watch it.
It wasn't the greatest mathematics, but even with my hacking it out, I am still extremely satisfied with the end results.
Now, the mathematics. Goku's a hard one to figure out.
Yeah,
because
it's all inconsistent.
It really is. We got to take GT out of the equation altogether because inconsistency. Thy name is GT. But the for instance, the bomb that they were talking about at the end of the episode, they were talking about the bomb that would give us a solid answer with how much Goku can sustain. At age 25, he would be able to take this bomb, or he wouldn't. He would be able to handle it or wouldn't?
In base form, it was like he couldn't take it, but Super Saiyan, he might have lived.
Kaioken 4, he couldn't take it. Like, that's what would have blown him up. And that's the math that they used on that. He was constantly growing even after the age of 25, and if you do look at it, you can figure his age out pretty flawlessly.
And they also decided to go through the speed with the Snake Way, which I was actually really impressed with their idea of taking the size of the spike. But that's, again, going off him finishing his first training with King Kai. He hasn't even reached Super Saiyan, and by the time he was at Super Saiyan, his base form was thousands of times stronger.
But the thing is I don't know how they... Like, how did they know that it took him 28 or 29 hours to get across Snake Way? Where did it say that? And we know it took a day and a half.
Well, they did go a lot into the manga, the actual storyline, which had more information as they had before with
Daizenshu.
But they went through the manga and they showed some false information, such as the instant transmission and the power level
of 9,000.
So they could have gotten a legitimate number of 28 hours. But even so, if you were to take the physics inside the Dragon Ball Z world with Goku's accumulated power, his speed would have increased dramatically compared to the max that they had stated.
You know what, to be fair, I only know the show. I've never looked at the manga. I've never looked at the Daizenshu. I've never seen any of that. So any information that's in there, which they were real clear about that, they're not going to,
as long as it doesn't conflict with the manga.
Yeah, as long as there's no conflict or anything else, then they were going to go with that. But with basically the manga, but I've never seen that. So the 28 hours or the 29 hours or, the speeds they were coming up with, I don't even really remember. What I remember with that bomb with Dr. Gero was that was meant to blow up Cell.
No, the bomb was meant to blow up Goku, and then it would have blown up Cell.
Oh, that's right.
It didn't make a mention in the show if it would blow up the world, but apparently in the manga it did.
But with Android 16, the bomb was in Android 16.
Yes. And
he had Cell, and he said, no matter, even with the power you've gained, you will not survive this explosion. You know what? I'm sure if we do the math, I bet you that's off too. I don't see Goku surviving these nuclear missiles.
Well, here's the scoop, is that they actually mentioned the amount of power it would take to blow up a planet. And by the time...
Which blows my mind.
Right, which by the time Vegeta showed up, he was blowing up 2 planets at a time. just traveling through space.
Now that's the thing. That's what they can push out. But is that what they can withstand? Well, I guess
with the manipulation of ki, I would suspect that they would be able to put up a force field strong enough to withstand this power. On a physical level, Superman's got his bioelectrical shield. Bioelectrical aura, which, as soon as you get rid of that, you start hitting him, he's not as durable, which is the same concept with, say, the ki, if they use it correctly.
But you got to remember, even with that, he still has the super strength, he still has, if you can get past that shield, he still has the bone and skin density and everything else underneath that shield.
Right, which, by the way, Superman math was awesome. I had nothing against that.
That was fantastic. Yeah, let's talk about Superman now. I love the way they did that.
Yeah. Moving a planet and then give you an equation.
They had the math for that, what it would take to do that, the weight of the Earth, which I remember hearing in school, but I still wonder how they came up with that.
Yeah, and then they actually showed validation through an episode where he was moving 3 times his normal weight, which was 600 quintillion tons, and if you divide that
66 quintillion, I think.
Yeah, and then if you divide that, it ends up being 267 sextillion, something ridiculous. So, but inevitably, the math was really good, and I was really impressed with it.
The accuracy of this. See, this is what I was worried about, and I wasn't so much concerned about it with Deathbattle, because Deathbattle is fantastic with, crossing their T's and dotting their I's. Although I'm still a little like this about the Doom guy and Halo battle, but
irrelevant.
Irrelevant. But dotting their I's and crossing their T's, they're great at. What I was worried about was that we would have unanswered questions or a lot of what ifs. Like, for instance, Goku, would he do the instant transmission to take Goku or to take Superman to a planet with a red sun?
But they did make great mention that Goku always played a fair fight in any of them that you watched.
And they made that mention too. Even with the world at stake, hindsight's 20/20. But even with the world at stake, he would fight someone at their best. So they say at the end too that he would rather bring Superman to a planet with a blue sun, just to see how far he can actually push it.
Which also. At the end of the video, they blow up the planet, which is something Superman would not have done. That was just for spectaculars.
That was so cool. A strike like that would blow up the planet. But that was one of the things everybody was looking at, was he could do the instant transmission like that if he knew that was an issue with Superman. But we know he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that.
Fact.
There's an answer. And even if he would, we saw Superman go blow for blow with Goku, all the way from bottom barrel base level all the way to Super Saiyan 4.
Which it does show that Goku could have inevitably beaten him through his shield. However, without the connection of Superman's power to the sun, Goku couldn't stand a chance not knowing that.
I think he would have made sure that there was enough sunlight for him.
Sure.
Well,
he would have left it at a very even level where if you're both on the planet, that's the power that you have.
Right.
I don't think Goku would have taken him into the sun to fight, because
no,
that's not really Goku's thing.
Sun. I don't think he would have cleared out the clouds either, but still, Superman was able to get away. But even if Goku was to do the instant transmission, bring him to a red sun, would Superman allow it to happen? He's obviously fast and strong enough to avoid anything Goku has to offer.
See, they clarify that the instant transmission is in fact instant.
But he still has to get a hold of him.
Sure. So if he instantly transmits next to him to hold him, and then instantly transmits somewhere else, within that blip of a second, I'm pretty sure Goku could have feasibly made that happen. How likely? Well, all right. Diminishes from there.
See, who was it that Goku fought that he would use the instant transmission, and the guy knew where he was going to be because of the vibrations in the air?
That was Super 17 when he felt the vibration.
All right. Never mind. Okay, that was GT. GT doesn't exist.
Which, again, the instant transmission is instant, so you wouldn't be able to feel his presence beforehand. It's only when he appears. So,
if that was feasible, though, then I don't know. I guess Superman would have had definitely would have had that covered. But like I said, even if he was able to get him to a red sun, that doesn't take away his power. It just stops him from replenishing it. So,
okay,
would Superman be able to take him down in time? And I say yes.
I don't know about that, because
look at the strength difference: 160,000 tons as opposed to 66 quintillion tons.
We did agree that the strength of Goku was, even they said that it was really hard because it's very inconsistent.
All right, let's give him 1,000,000 tons. Let's give him a billion tons. Let's give him quintillion tons.
I still think on a strength level, Goku should have been able to put up a better fight. But, and there's actually another thing I want to bring up was about time. They mentioned how the Spirit Bomb takes forever. Well, that's understandable, but forever in a fight on the Dragon Ball Z level was like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Vegeta was
5
damn
minutes,
near
5 minutes to blow up Namek was, 7 episodes.
Yeah, and then Vegeta fighting Boo there, 1 minute while Goku powers up in Super Saiyan 3 was forever.
Yeah, that was
so, and it took 15 minutes for Superman to reach a times 3 power compared to what was base. So, essentially, Goku could have ripped out that Spirit Bomb in no time in order to charge himself back up, where Superman probably would have just barely gotten to regular.
Yeah.
So, but, again, I mentioned that I was very satisfied with the answer of Superman beating Goku.
Now, the other one, and I know that somebody's going to throw this out there, is the key enzyme, the Destructo Disc. What if Goku had used that on Superman? The only example I'm going to give, and, up until this point, it had been pretty flawless, but Krillin using the Destructo, or the key enzyme against Cell. Didn't work.
Absolutely.
Went right through him. There was no effect at all. He didn't even acknowledge that it happened. I think that Super Saiyan 4, I think that is what would happen with Superman. Even if he could nail it, which I don't think he could.
Right. I would agree with that.
I got to be clear about this. I had no idea who was going to win. I was so sure that these would be arguments we would have forever. And I was sure that Goku was going to put up a better fight. It was a great fight, but, mathematically, I figured Goku would have put up better numbers. But most people would say that Goku would win. For any number of reasons. Like, the fact that he does rise to any level that he needs to.
He breaks limits.
He breaks limits. And I think they said it best at the end of the Deathbattle with...
the most satisfying possible set of sentences possible. Goku breaks limits. But how can you break a limit that is limitless?
Yeah, you can't, but still fighting against the limitless. Is that... How did the phrase go? The limitless, or...
Superman is as strong as he needs to be.
Yeah, Superman is as strong as he needs to be.
Which is also Goku, for the most part.
Right. So, they were saying pretty much, just as you guys described, that I believe it's something like, Goku can rise
to any limit,
but he can't. Superman is limitless.
Right.
Right.
I think it was something along those lines.
And if someone mentioned, say, the Doomsday Superman battle, Doomsday was in the middle of a city killing people. Superman wasn't going to run away to power up. He was going to fight till the end. Whereas Goku brought him to a new area so that Superman could go to the sun, power up, and kill him.
In the comic book, he was laying there in broad daylight.
Yeah.
He should have been recovering. I don't want to talk about that. Even when they did the reboots and they were talking about, the reason Doomsday won was because it was nighttime. Whatever. But that's neither here nor there. That's the other thing, too, is circumstantially, Goku, could he have beaten Superman? I still think the numbers are too advanced on Superman's side.
I think they still show that Goku could have won, because as you saw, Superman busted out his strongest eye beam, the one thing that drains his power the most. And Goku's 10 times Kamehameha Super Saiyan 4 did beat him, but only threw him into the one place that he needed to go.
All right. Yeah, we saw that, but we also saw Super Saiyan 4 do his Dragon Fist against Superman's million motion...
Supernova,
whatever punch thing that was.
That's worth, 1,500 supernovas.
I don't know. I don't think they put a number to that. Oh, no, they did.
They did, but inevitably, it was incredibly powerful. And on top of that, he was powered up by the sun.
But Goku was also powered up by the Spirit Bomb.
This is true, but... they still gave it to Superman because he can move entire planets just by flying in one direction, pulling it along.
Yeah.
And then he has more sun power to generate him, so... And again, he is limitless, so he became as strong as he needs to be to beat his opponent, which, in fact, was Goku.
The numbers were just too different.
So...
It was still a great fight. I think my favorite... And I'm so glad they got Team 4-Star involved.
Yeah.
Team 4-Star is probably the greatest thing on the internet right now. I mean, you got that guy with the glasses and Cinemassacre, then you got Team 4-Star. Tell me Dragon Ball Z Abridged isn't the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Hilarious, worth watching.
I love, I'm going to put a link in the comments to it too, but that stuff's funny. But I think my favorite part, and this had to have been written by them, was Goku just all the pressure points thrown into the building, and then he starts eating a senzu bean, and this is the healing thing. I don't know. Superman says, "What's that?" And he says, "Senzu bean. Want one?" Magic potion. You want one? Oh, and the power pole.
Yes.
Did not see that. I didn't even consider that, the power pole.
I was actually kind of convinced that Goku was going to win with the power pole in some way because it was magic.
Yeah, it looked like it broke his head open in that after the instant transmission. It cracked him right in the head.
Yeah. So, it was good stuff.
It really was. And everybody involved, Wiz and Boomstick, and I had to write them down because there's too many, and honestly I don't know them, but Kanzenshu, the Tao of Dragon Ball, Superman homepage, Superman Super Site, and obviously Team 4-Star. For the love of God, thank you. Thank you so much for all of it.
Great work.
It was so worth it. And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't even know what to do now because it feels like the big part one of life's unanswerable questions has been answered. I don't know what to do, and it really feels like something bigger should have come from this. You guys need, like, money for this. A movie deal or something. Again, the whole point in this little video, we wanted to talk about it, but thank you. Deathbattle, the whole team, thank you so much for all of it.
Well worth it.
Very worth it. Very satisfying. And I remember, I said this beforehand, but I swore, I kind of hoped Goku would win. I was pretty sure Superman was going to. But I was going to abide by whoever the winner was. I am absolutely satisfied at who won. No stone left unturned. Every possibility was covered. Superman is a superior being, and I accept that. So
Round 2. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, round 2. That's not going to happen again. I'm sure.
Ever.
I feel bad for Wiz and Boomstick. I mean, I'm sure they had to be so tired of hearing about it. And also doing the math and all the work themselves. So, I mean, I know they didn't do all of it, but doing I'm sure they're exhausted. So, take a break, guys. But that's all I got.
Thanks.
Till next time.